welcome into this edition of Cronkite Sports Live. I'm Alex Gaul, and the guy sitting next to me is Tyler Manion. It's been a big week in ASU athletics, and we've been all over the country to cover it all. But Tyler, we'll start with Arizona State football.
Yeah, Alex, we've been all over the country all season, and we've been starting with Arizona State football pretty much all season long here at CSL. But what hasn't happened all season is one of the anchors, being at an away game, and that was the case last weekend.
That's right, Tyler. I was in Salt Lake City last Saturday for the top 20 showdown at Rice-Eccles Stadium. But the Sun Devil offense was as cold as I was on the sidelines, and I don't know about ASU football, but I'm still thawing out. Take a look.
It was rainy, it was cold, and it was windy. But Saturday's conditions in Salt Lake City were the least of the Sun Devils' concerns as they fell to number 13 Utah at Rice-Eccles Stadium. The game was marked by both a struggling ASU offense and an opportunistic but undisciplined defense. The Sun Devils mustered just 136 yards of total offense in the game and scored less than 10 points for the first time since 2009. Freshman quarterback Jaden Daniels completed just 4 passes, by far the lowest completion total of his young college career.
Just relentless defense. They're gonna get after the quarterback. There's a couple things that we could have done as an offense. Me getting the ball faster. That's just things we gotta look back on and just build from.
The lone bright spot on offense was Eno Benjamin, who tallied 100 rushing yards for the 3rd straight game. But it wasn't nearly enough as ASU went 3 and out on 6 of their 13 drives. On the other side of the ball, ASU did have some success, holding the Utes to 14 points through the first 3 quarters. But the effort was marred by a season-high 12 penalties, including a targeting call and ejection on defensive back Evan Fields.
Evan on the targeting, got to go near foot, near shoulder. You can't ever lead with your face, and he hit with the helmet trying to keep him from getting the first down. So, I mean, we gotta learn from those things. I thought they fought their tails off in the second half, and we got some turnovers and created some short fields.
There was some positives for the Sun Devil defense, which picked up 4 total takeaways in the ballgame, including a big second-half interception by Chase Lucas. But ASU's offense wasn't able to do anything with the extra possessions, coming away with just 3 points off those 4 turnovers.
The lone Sun Devil points of the game came off a Jermaine Lole fumble recovery inside the Utah red zone. Christians and Dejas split the uprights to put the Devils on the board in the 3rd quarter. But the field goal did little to stall Utah's dominance, and the end result was sealed with a 32-yard Zach Moss touchdown run in the 4th. Final score, Utes 21, Devils 3.
Saturday's loss drops Herm Edwards and the Sun Devils to 5-2 on the season out of a big pivotal matchup at the Rose Bowl with UCLA next weekend. But for now, reporting in Salt Lake City, Utah, Alex Gaul, Cronkite Sports. A few weeks back, ASU kicker Brandon Reese entered the transfer portal. This time, it's Dylan Sterling Cole who announced his decision to leave. The backup quarterback stayed in Tempe longer than most people expected. After losing out to freshman Jaden Daniels in camp, DSC started a game back in 2016 and appeared in 3 others that season. But now, the Houston native will look to win the starting job somewhere else. ASU women's hockey is on fire. They've piled on the goals early on and have a plus 34 goal differential through their first 9 games. They are already just a single win shy of their 2018 win total. But what's changed from last season? Our own Jason Sussman was at Oceanside Ice Arena to find out. ASU men's hockey has had a rough go of it at the beginning of this season. After splitting with Mercyhurst and getting swept by Minnesota State, Greg Powers and the Sun Devils were looking for a turnaround weekend against Air Force. And turn it around, they did. Our own Michael Gutnick was there, and as a recap from Colorado Springs. Arizona State volleyball picked up its first win over a ranked opponent last weekend, coming back from 2 sets down to beat then number 21 ranked Washington State in Pullman. Through 4 weekends of conference play, the Sun Devils are hanging in for the race for the NCAA tournament. They're currently sit at 3-5 in the conference and 8th place in the Pac-12. A conference that has sent at least 8 teams to the big dance for 3 years running. ASU faces the Oregon schools at home this weekend, both teams below the Devils in the conference standings.
Now it is time for my favorite segment of the show. Not to make this about me, because this week it's about this guy, Julian Parras,
appreciate that.
into Sun Devils social media. Julian, I'm excited to see what you got for us today.
I'm glad. I'm excited to be back on the show, guys. I'm telling you, the way that the social media has been out this past week, it is very, very entertaining. And we're going, yeah, oh man.
Okay, let's do it.
So we're going to start off with one. Have you guys seen the HBO series that ASU was incorporated with?
Yes, it was
Production value is off the charts.
Oh, it was incredible. And I mean, obviously, the Cronkite students enjoyed it a lot too. So we're going to take the first look, our first tweet. Let's bring it up on the board. All right, so everyone with Cronkite was obviously ecstatic about how this panned out. They were super excited to be able to see themselves in the background, especially with HBO being busy with what ASU football has been doing, what Herman's been doing. So obviously, I had to put this up for the show today. That's our first tweet.
I mean, anything with Jonah Hill is going to get me excited, going to get me happy.
Yeah.
We stand Jonah Hill on this show, and larger Jonah Hill before he got in shape was the funniest version. So
this is incredibly accurate, too. Everybody was just losing their minds.
As one of those students, because that was me. That was me right there. That was totally me. Because I was looking at the last touchdown of the game when Daniels went to the end zone, and I was looking for myself.
There's no way you
guilty as
cannot
charged.
have that type of reaction to that type of game. So I totally understand.
HBO debuts for all those kids.
That's right. Okay. So here's the next question. Have you guys have obviously been to the football games, right?
Yes.
You guys know Brady Klain, our very own WCSN photographer.
Very talented man.
All right, let's take a look at what he was able to do. But yeah, guys, I just don't know what else to say about this. This is very impressive.
Well, there's one thing to say. This kind of content right here, you love to see it.
Oh,
because
yeah,
Brady
absolutely.
Klain was in the right place, right time,
Right
and
time.
he just did this fantastic. And editing the music on top is a huge plus.
All right, we're gonna boost his ego. Brady and I are friends, so I have a right to do this. I'm taking down a peg here, Brady. I know you were in your bed when you shot this. You live at University House. You can see the stadium. Okay, I had to expose you real quick. Obviously, it's well done, but we got to bring an ego down peg. That went nuts on Twitter.
Right
by the way.
place,
Absolutely.
right time. That's my thoughts on it.
Yes, sir. All right. So for the final tweet, we leave the best for last. And for our last tweet, we actually have our own Reed Harmon in this video. What's going on? You're going to see him kind of struggling to skate a little bit. So why don't we'll let you have the reaction, but we'll take a look now. And obviously, something like this, it just blew up, really. I mean, over the course of the week, anything can happen, especially over Twitter. But just being able to see Reed, I mean, listen, nothing against him. He's a great guy. And I'm sure this is one of the first times. I probably would have a hard time being able to do this.
Well,
I haven't skated in years.
This is even better, Julian, because of the beef they've been having on Twitter. Because you saw last week, Reed made fun of Jobo, the goalie, Jordan Nash Bolin, by showing a video of her falling on the ice as she was getting off. So I don't know, Tyler. I think she has him beat.
Here's my feeling on this, right? It's Jordan Nash Bolden's job to skate. So
Right.
Reed not being able to skate, not as big a deal as her not being able to skate, but at the same time, Reed, as a journalist and one of my best friends, should be good at social media, and he got bested by an athlete here. That's not all right, so I got to give the win to Jobo as
It
well.
wasn't even
That's
close,
fair.
Tyler. It was a 30-point blowout.
I'm going to be nice to our buddy Reed, okay? You know, I mean, he has his specialties and his craft. She obviously has her thing going on with hockey. So we're just going to let it slide. But we'll see how it goes.
Well, thank you so much, Julian, for being on social media this week. For all
Absolutely.
more of his content, you can go to cronkitesports.com. Yeah, it's that time again. NBA O'Clock. The 2019 league season tipped off Tuesday across the country. For some former Pac-12 players, they are right in the thick of it. 6 players from the Pac-12 were selected in this year's draft, and for more on them, here's Amir Muhammad with this week's Impact. ASU soccer extended their winless streak to 8 matches on Thursday, tying their longest such streak since 2017. WCSN's Ali Kruzniak was in Tempe and has the highlights.
And now, Alex, speaking of the bank, it is time for The Way It Is, America's favorite game, where we will ask each other 3 questions, debate back and forth a little bit, and our producer in the studio, Alex, will pick a winner, who then gets to rant. And because we just talked about the bank, I'll use it as our first question here to kick us off. What should the new nickname of ASU's basketball arena be?
Tyler, this is absolute blasphemy. The arena formerly known as Wells Fargo Arena will hereforth always be known as the Bank. And Tyler, you can take that one to the bank.
I'm gonna have to disagree. I'm gonna go with it should be named the credit union. I know it sounds cheesy and corny and horrible, but just think about it. The last one was so simple. I think we got to switch it up, change the vibe, change everything about it. The credit union, the Wells Fargo Arena should now be called. That's the new nickname for sure.
Sorry, Tyler, that just doesn't work. But moving to football, Vegas has the ASU and UCLA game with an over-under of 60. So Tyler, are you taking the over or the under?
I'm going to have to take the under, Alex. They scored 3 points in the last game. How can the over-under be 60? I don't typically question Vegas. They had the line last week with Utah being huge favorites, right? But nah, it's got to be under this week for me.
I would love to disagree with you, Tyler, but judging from what I saw in Salt Lake City last week, I don't think they're going to get 30 points. Maybe they get three touchdowns and a field goal, 24. That seems like a safe bet. But 30 and a 60 overall, no, that's not going to happen.
So we agree on that one, but I don't think we will on this one. So this is our last CSL show between Halloween and now, and with that comes Halloween costumes. So I gotta ask you, Alex, what's your favorite costume that you have ever pulled off in your life?
Well, my family had a lot of fun with costumes when me and my brother were kids. In middle school, the one time, you might know the show Avatar: The Last Airbender was one of my favorite shows back in the day. And one year I was Aang for Halloween. It was a fantastic costume. We took pictures and everything, and it was a lot of fun. I even had the skin cap, the bald cap, and with the arrow painted on.
Look at you. That's a good one. That's a good one. Okay, mine, I was a dog, a Dalmatian from 101 Dalmatians, and it wasn't the artsiness, the craftiness that you had in that awesome costume, but just look at me. I'm the cutest little kid you've ever seen, and I can't deny that. And I don't like to flex in this kind of ways, but no, this one's undeniable for sure. My Dalmatian costume, I think has
I think
yours
that
beat.
Makes you lose automatically.
Whoa. Okay, but the cuteness factor in and of itself should give me the win. And I know yours had a lot of effort and whatnot, but no, it's got to be me because mine was just cuter than yours. I'm sorry.
I don't know about that, Tyler. We'll see who gets this one though. Our producer Troy and Alex, they're in the studio right now, and they'll be picking it pretty soon.
Yeah, and also I'm 0-3 on the season for CSL, so this might be a pity win for me. Get me in the win column, because how have I not won so far? 0-3, what's going on? I feel like last year's ASU volleyball team.
There we go. Sorry, Tyler. I was up at Rice-Eccles Stadium last weekend, where the kickoff temperature for ASU's game against Utah was just 52 degrees. That was a chilly and rainy afternoon, and that's coming from someone who grew up in Chicago, so you know I'm telling the truth. But as much as ASU football's coaches and players might say that the temperature at game time didn't and doesn't matter, the metrics show otherwise. Yeah, that's right. I'm becoming a meteorologist for the day. And my forecast, when the weather is under 70 degrees, ASU's offensive efficiency hits a cold front. This season, ASU is averaging just over 25 points a game when they play in conditions 70 degrees and above. Below 70, however, well, that's a different story. ASU scoring just 13.5 points per game in those games this season. That's a 12-point difference. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Alex, that's a super small sample size. And you're right. That's just what I thought. So I ran the numbers on last season as well. And guess what? The point difference is almost identical at around 11 points more in games 70 degrees and above. And that includes multiple away games where the temperature was warm, so that's just not a home and away trend. ASU football struggles to score points in cooler weather. And will that trend continue late in the later part of this season? We'll just have to find out. And that's the way it is.
Alex, the meteorologist. I'm going to stick with my job here as an anchor, and we're going to go into top plays. Number 3, we're going to go to ASU hockey. Logan Genuine, the star freshman, super highly touted coming into this team, and he gets his first ASU goal this past weekend against Air Force.
What a goal. We'll move to ASU football. There wasn't many highlights in this one, but Frank Darby likes his tea sweet. Well, Tyler, he also likes his toes tapped on the sideline, 12 yards and a first down with one of 4 completions on the day for ASU total, but that was definitely the best one.
One of 4 completions on the day. And for our next play, Alex, as you can see that this was indeed ruled a catch, this next highlight is going to be indeed ruled a victory. ASU volleyball we go to, they were down 2-0. They come back and beat then-ranked number 21 ranked Washington State. Annika Larson completes the comeback here. You're going to see it from Sun Devil Volleyball's Twitter, courtside. A look at the reaction. They're going crazy. It was a good day for ASU volleyball in Washington as they knock off number 21 ranked Washington State.
Well, that was a fantastic show, Tyler, if I do say so myself. But for our entire crew here in the studio and across the country this week, thank you for tuning into this week's edition of Cronkite Sports Live. For Tyler Manion, I'm Alex Gaul. Have a great afternoon, everybody.